Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Three Crones in the Woo. How do you like the new layout?
I think I like the other one better.
Uh, Primary. My name is Gayle Nicholson with Coaching and Consulting. Over here to this side, we have Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing with Krista. And over on this side, we have Damaris Samolinski with Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. I almost put Damaris in your company there. All right, let's get back to normal so that Gayle feels a little bit more confident in what she's doing here. So is everybody getting ready for Yule and solstice and Christmas and all of those celebrations of darkness for the return of the light? Everybody out there?
Oh my God!
Yep, I am.
Awesome. Krista brought to my attention last week that our next show is going to be on solstice. So it is going to be a big party.
Yes,
it's going to be bright and fiery. And I can't wait. Krista, do you have some things up your sleeve for that? Yeah.
I do. Actually, you're going to start seeing me posting some things that you can start doing to prepare for solstice or Yule. And so that we can actually celebrate. For some reason, I just really feel this year that that this particular solstice is just really important for us to recognize, to honor, and to celebrate. Yeah. So I'm going to be starting to share some information out here over the next few days of things that you can go out and gather, like pine cones. If you're out on a walk, you need you might want to gather some pine cones, or perhaps you have a dehydrator at home. You can slice some oranges and dehydrate those. Grab some cinnamon sticks. You're going to find that we're going to bring things that are elemental. So it represents all four elements. I almost said 5 elements, and I had to remember not Chinese. 4 elements. Hold on. Yeah. So in Asia, they have 5. They recognize 5 elements. And not for necessarily solstice. But
do you know what the 5th element is there?
It's essentially it's ether.
Oh, okay. Spirit.
It's just essentially it's the ether.
Okay.
And so but so I'm really excited. Awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I am.
Yeah,
and then I'll mention some crystals, and if you have essential oils, but it's I just am like, you know what, this year I'm just gonna go all out and I'm gonna share.
Good.
Nice. I love it. I love it.
And as you can tell, my lights are back up. Yeah, I got batteries.
Very pretty.
I got batteries. It's, it's one of those things. You go to the store, you're like, oh, darn it, I forgot to get batteries.
How do you forget to get batteries in this day and age?
It's just one of those. Military commissaries are grocery stores where everything is set up. It's some of the way things are set up. It's like, oh wait, that's right. That's over there. That makes no sense, but that's where they do it, and you forget.
Yeah. I get that. So how are you doing, Damaris? I've seen pictures of your house. Your house is absolutely gorgeous.
It is so pretty.
I'm so jealous. Tell us about your favorite decoration and the stories behind your stuff.
Yeah, this is my favorite holiday. It really is. So I just go, I dedicate myself to like decorating the house and just making me feel like, yes, this is, it's Christmas. And most of the days I'm by myself at home because everybody's working or, doing their thing, and I work from home. So I like to enjoy it. And then when my clients come over too, I like, for them to just enjoy it. And I always have diffusers going on with Christmas scents. doTERRA sells a holiday blend and it smells so good. I don't know if you've tried it, Krista.
I have, here's so I don't know if Sue's on. I don't see Sue. She is like crazy bananas about it. Yeah. To the point where, I don't know, how it sells out most of the time? Well, I think it's her. for him.
I sold out. Really, I think I saw something that is sold out, but I bought two, and I use it throughout the house, and it smells so nice.
It does. It does. It smells. It smells like Christmas. It smells like winter. It smells like the holidays. It's all those yummy scents.
It is.
I really like it.
You know, all those.
Yeah, the cinnamon, the citrus, the cloves. Yeah, I really love it.
Clove is in there too.
Yeah,
blend smells so good.
Yeah,
awesome stuff. I am so jealous, Damaris, because I'm staying with my daughter, and her house is decorated beautifully. Don't get me wrong, but I have been decorating my own home since I was 19 years old, and this is like the first year. And Christmas is it's really big for me. Just we could go on a whole roller coaster ride of why it's a big deal to me. So this is like the first Christmas that all of my ornaments are in storage, and I don't have my mistletoe, and it's like I'm living vicariously. And I've been driving around a lot at night looking at other people's like Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
I will have that again. I will have that again, probably before next Christmas. But this is my year without a Santa Claus.
Definitely, we'll have yours again.
Yep. So I'm loving watching that, and I've been doing a lot of hiking in the woods, and it's just been wonderful. My dog has lost about 10 pounds.
Wow,
she's looking very svelte. And she's doing really, really well. I put her on this glucosamine stuff, and I've been taking her for hikes usually about 5 times a week. And it's a good 40-minute walk, 45, maybe an hour, depending on which trails she takes me down. So we've been staying healthy. We've been connecting with nature. We've been grounding out where all the roots and trees are, and the pine needles on the ground. So I'm excited about that. Very much.
Definitely.
All right. So we have a thank you note here from a Facebook user. I'm not sure who this is, but I think Damaris can tell us.
Oh, that was Adam.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. Okay. He wants to know about some numbers that he keeps seeing over and over. So he sent me a message if he can call me. So he did, and we spoke about the numbers. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Good. That was great. Excellent.
Then that makes a whole lot of sense out of the message that I got from him. He's like, I got a spiritual number. He was so excited. So excited. So that's phenomenal. Yes. Awesome stuff. Excellent. Let's see. So we've got a lot to cover today. And everything is beautifully in alignment. So let's get this party started.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. Let's go, Damaris.
Let's go. Yes. All right. So we are going to speak about Pluto, the Pluto return. We spoke about it last week a little bit. So Pluto return, it has been 246 years since Pluto was in the exact alignment that it is coming into. And that was in 1776. Let me get that number right, because the last time I had it wrong. That brings us back to when the Constitution was written. And so there's a principle there that says that, the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness for every individual, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know what shifted and when it shifted. It perhaps 95 years from the date that they wrote the Constitution, something changed, something shifted. And so, the world hasn't really been the way it was supposed to be. If you look around, not everybody, has equal opportunities, if you will. There's a lot going on, planetarily, globally. Like I said before, in a world that's so beautiful, why is there so much decay? In a planet that's so abundant, why is there so much scarcity, right? Mm-hmm. And so something went wrong. And so the Pluto return is about fixing what went wrong. So there's a lot of structures that are going to collapse. And actually, every structure right now is unstable. So that's scary when you really think about it. Every structure right now is
Mhm.
unstable, and it's going through sort of like a metamorphosis, if you will. So there's going to be, and the people that created those structures too, because it's globally and it's also personally, right?
Mhm.
So there's a total shift that's going to happen. Now, Pluto has to do with death, transformation, and rebirth. So that means that there has to be a collapse. That means that there has to be a destruction. That means that we are in a near death experience as a planet. And
Mhm.
I've said that before, because things cannot be sort of like patched up, if that makes any sense. It has to
Yeah.
be sort of like demolished and start all over,
Yeah.
rebuilt.
Mhm.
Rebuilt in a way where all the structures, all the agencies, everything is serving the people, not just self-serving, right? Because we're
Mhm.
leaving that behind us now. It's not the I, it's the we. It's, all of us collectively, right? And that
Mhm.
has a lot to do with the Aquarian age that we went into. So all of these planets are in alignment and working together to bring us to where we need to be. It's going to take a long time, but this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the planetary healing, if you will, where
Mhm.
things have to be destroyed. And obviously, when things are destroyed, there's a lot of people are taking it in different ways, right? Let's say when we're doing construction in a house, I hate demolition work. I really do.
I
And
find it fun.
I enjoy
I said
it,
I find
but
it fun.
I hate it.
Take a nice
I don't
sledgehammer
like
to
the
a
mess.
plaster
How's
wall.
that?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate demolition. I hate the mess. I hate the mess. I hate the dust. I hate all of that. But when it's rebuilding it, when it's putting it back together, you start like feeling great, right? So this is,
Mhm.
exactly where we're right now. We're in demolition work. We're in demolition
Yeah.
work planetarily, right?
Mhm.
Woo!
Um,
Get
Yeah,
those
and it gets
sledgehammers,
messy, doesn't
lady.
it? It gets
it
really
gets
messy.
messy. It does. It does. But it is written on the wall that things have to change. It has to collapse. Things have to. It's almost like I said to you before, we're in demolition. So we all have to come together, stick together, understand what's happening planetarily. Like I've always said to you guys before, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm an astrologer, and I see what's written in the stars. And it's when we're confused, when we have doubt, when we have fear, all you have to do is look at the stars, look at the planetary alignments, and you'll know what's happening and what's going on. It's a biblical thing. It's written. It was written before. And we are so lucky to be alive at this time, and we're so lucky to be able to understand what's happening and then share it with other people, because there's some people that don't have any idea of anything, astrological, numerology, or
Mhm.
all of these things that we are aware of. Some people don't understand or don't have any knowledge, and they might be going through a lot of chaos right now and not being afraid because they don't understand what's happening, but we do know. And
Yes.
that's where I guess we're blessed, if you will. But
Yes.
with that being said, we're at a crossroad, right?
Mhm.
One way, Pluto has all to do with, and I've said it before, and maybe one day we'll do a show on it. Pluto has all to do with Satan and Santa, right? Which is the same word, just flipped around. And
Mhm.
so, which way are we going to go? We're going to go to the left, or we're going to go to the right? Both if there's no right and wrong which way we
Mhm.
take, but one can take us down an abyss that we may not come out of, and the other may take us into a direction where we're going to be a part of the healing of the planet, and the
Go
planet
Team Santa.
That's it. Santa all the way.
Santa to me has a different significance than what it is for children, I guess, if you will. For me, when I see that Santa, it's really got to do with that Pluto energy, because as I said to you guys before, Pluto is the destroyer and the rebuilder. It's like Shiva in the Hindu religion.
In Hindu, yep.
So Shiva is a destroyer, and then Shiva does rebuild too. It destroys what's no longer serving, and that's what's happening, right? So we're at a crossroad, and which way we go will determine our destiny, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the planet itself, it's on a course of its, the fate that it was going in it sort of veered into now it's destiny because of that Pluto energy. And I love Pluto. Pluto can be harsh, but it also can be the savior, if you will. And so I love that energy and I embrace it. And, you know, like I was born with Pluto conjunct my sun. So I have a lot of like, sort of like, you know, I destroy things and rebuild, destroy and rebuild. And it's always like constant. It's constant for me in my life because I was born with that conjunction. And so it gets exhausting sometimes, but I know that I'm always metamorphosing. I'm always, you know, morphing into different, you know, areas and raising my consciousness all the time, more and more and more, so that I can morph into something else, that I can shapeshift. That's Pluto energy.
Yeah.
So it is beautiful at the same time as it is scary. So again, we're in a place of almost like, you know, it's historical. And that's what I want to say. And you can be scared of everything that you see around you, but it has to happen. There has to be a fall.
Yeah. I remember when I was really, really young. I mean, really young, like 3-4 years old, playing out in the yard. And I heard this thought run through my head. And it was one of those moments where you go, that's not me. Right? It was something else was talking in my head. And it said, never tell a lie, because a lie creates a wrinkle that will always be tripped over.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, that's a really good way.
I like that.
And it's
I like that.
and that has guided me a lot in my life. And if we look at just the most recent last 240 years ish, right? Since this country has been created, since the last time Pluto was in the spot that it's coming back around to, right? We've had an awful lot of not just increase in technology, but we've had a corporate takeover of the government that we designed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And that's what's coming down.
And it's being sold to us like we still have a government that functions the way the Constitution laid out, right? And in many cases it does, but where that lie comes in, right? Where, for example, Carnegie and Rockefeller and Ford, even for that matter, designed the educational system to be, you know, let's educate all our people. All of our communities do better when our people are educated and have the tools to make their way in the world, right?
Yeah.
But the system itself is designed to make you a factory worker, to respond to bells on time and go from one place to the other and regurgitate what you've been told instead of critical thinking. Right? There's a base lie even in our education system. And there's a base lie even in our medical system, because the medical industry isn't allowed to sell you the actual things that nature provides for us, because they're too busy being trained how to make sure that they can solve your problem with pharmaceutical byproduct or pharmaceuticals made from petroleum byproducts. Right.
I love what you're saying, because that's exactly what's happening, Gayle. That's
and it's coming around with all of this access to information that we have with Google, with Facebook, with Yahoo, with people doing videos like ours, or even just like, you know, homeopathy people talking about this, that, and the other thing, or witches being able to be out there and seen and go, you know, all of the soup your mom used to make for you, this is witchcraft. This, these hot toddies, this is medicine. Food is medicine. All of that information is being available to us, and so we can see where is the lie, and we can choose where we come together and go, okay, this group over here, our group over here is going to stand for food is medicine. You know, rocks have power. You know,
oils,
the season,
they have
yes, God has a plan, and it was written in the stars the very moment you were born. Get to know your astrology, get to know yourself, you get to know the nature of God.
Exactly. I love that. And that's exactly what's happening. And that's exactly why the systems, like I said before, you know, the Constitution was written where the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. And that has happened. I mean, we're happy, right? But there's some people that are way off better than we are. And there's sort of like an imbalance, right? And so Why? And these are the things that are going to come to the surface. You know, the truth is going to be revealed. Whatever was hidden, with, because Pluto has to do with what's hidden. So
Right.
whatever was hidden is going to be unearthed.
Yeah.
So with
Yeah.
that planet return, so we're going to realize a lot of things that we were not aware of, right?
Yeah.
And things have to change. And with that being said, when we have a death, a transformation, and we have a rebirth, what's going to happen is when the student is ready, when you have rebirth, the teachers
Mhm.
will appear. And so
Yeah.
our guides, yeah, our guides, yes, Joanne, our guides are going to come because we all are spiritual beings, right? We all have
Mhm.
abilities. We all have gifts, internal gifts. And so the pineal gland has been calcified through our foods, through everything else. And
Or
so
our fluoridated
things start
water and our
changing.
toothpaste that we
Yes,
use twice a day or
yeah.
more.
Mhm.
When things start changing, we're going to be opening up. We're going to then meet our teachers. When the student is ready, the teachers will appear.
Teacher will appear. Yep.
Exactly. And so that's when we go to the right, though. If we choose to go to the left, which is everybody's free will and choice, who knows where that's going to take, right? But we've had too much of the left for too long, if you ask me. And so for 246 years to be exact. So
Right.
we need total transformation, total rebirth, right?
Mhm.
Now, talking about the number 4 is so funny because the floor is also ruled by Pluto. The 4 is ruled by Pluto. It's ruled by Scorpio and Pluto, right? And so it's so amazing to me because the 4 has to do with foundation. It has to do with our roots. It has to do with what we were taught, let's say, as children, right? And I think that for the most part, we got to go back to the roots, right? We got to go back, right, to natural medicine, right, like you were talking
Yep.
about, Gail, to like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, nature, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
finding the answers in nature. You know, everything is in nature. And so we got to go back to that foundation, because if we don't, like I said to you before, every structure will collapse. And so
Mhm.
if our own structure within ourselves, if we don't go back to, say, so to speak, going back to nature, our own bodies can self-destruct, right?
Mhm.
If we continue
Oh,
putting on
definitely.
chemicals, toxic things, um, being surrounded by toxic people, by toxic environments, and we are not making that shift, forget about it. Our own structure, our own foundation will collapse. And that's that number 4 that I see. Now,
Yep.
the number 4, since it's ruled by Pluto, also has to do with you know, the Scorpio energy, right? So the Scorpio
Mhm.
energy, and I've said this before, the scorpion, the eagle, and the phoenix, which is again the death, the transformation, and the rebirth. That's that phoenix energy, is the rebirth, coming out of the ashes. If they've
Yeah.
tried to kill us with chemicals, we're coming out of the ashes.
Right.
And so that's that real, that's that, you know, that's that that I love. That's that. Go ahead.
So the fact that you brought up Phoenix, it's very interesting. So I've been going to markets, right? The Christmas markets around here. And the items that people are making themselves, you know, it's been very interesting to see so many items made with Phoenix designs.
Wow.
I mean, yeah,
It's being felt in the
it's
collective.
really kind of, now that you just brought that up. I mean, I saw it and I get excited. I'm like, oh, that's a Phoenix. That's so awesome.
Yeah,
That's
coming
so
out of the
cool.
ashes, right? That's what we're
But
doing, right?
well, and here's even the funnier thing. Okay. So they all have to do with fire.
Mhm.
So all these items have to do with fire, like, you know, um, artistic metalwork for a fire pit, or candle, you know, tea light candle, um, little cylinders and stuff. And so for me, it just really, now that I'm thinking and associating what you're saying, whether people know it or not, or they're associating
Mhm.
it, there's a subconsciousness that I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people, and it's been coming about for a while, you know, the whole phoenix, the eagles, because, you know, in the eagle, so the animal that represents the United States, of course, is an
The
eagle.
eagle.
That's right. And down in South America, it's a condor.
Yes.
And so the condor and the eagle, it is said in some of the South American cultures that when the eagle and the condor unite again, which happened, that we were going, you know, that will be a freeing event. We'll be uniting our masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
It
You know,
is.
when you think about it, the scorpion, right? The scorpion
Yeah.
with lower level vibration, right? The
Mhm.
scorpion, right? When you think about the
Yeah.
three of them, lower level vibrations, that means, you know, passions of the flesh, envy, hatred, selfishness, ego. That's all that energy, right? So then the
Mhm.
ego represents that freedom, right?
Mhm.
That liberty, right? It represents that. And then the phoenix, which is the ultimate, is the rebirth. It's
Oh,
it's yeah, it's really, I feel like a second coming. It's what I see when I see that energy, right? A second coming. And doing it better, because if we don't learn from the past mistakes, we will repeat them.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
So,
definitely.
yeah,
And we have in
history
history.
will repeat itself if we don't learn. So this is a
But
pivotal.
What sucks though is being the one who's learning and watching the collective go over it again.
Yes.
You know, when you've seen it and you go, okay, I get it, right? And you can't stop the collective who didn't pay attention to it or wasn't taught it or was lied to about it, having to experience it all over again, and you can't stop them.
You can't, because it's their free will too, you
That's
know.
it.
So that's why I say that we're in a very good place, because we're aware, right?
Yeah.
We have an awareness, because we've been working on ourselves, we've been studying, we've been integrating it into our lives, and so we're in a good place. And for us, this is historical to be able to witness the rebirth of the planet. It's really historical. Because before we were born, things were off track, if you will. I mean, it's been 246 years.
Right.
Oh,
I wanna actually bring in this question or this statement from Joanne, because I've been thinking about it very much since yesterday. Mars just went into Sagittarius, right?
Yes.
I've got a whole bunch of stuff in my own chart with regard to Saturn, Jupiter, just conjunctions and little angles and stuff, and I don't understand all of it on the circle chart, but there's a couple of little lines that are the planets, the big planets that are moving right now.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty big for me energetically, like walking through a doorway almost. So tell us a little bit about what happened yesterday.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yesterday. With Mars or excuse me, was it Jupiter and Saturn? And I know the North Node thing was going on.
Yeah.
Everything, couple of things went into Sagittarius, and a bunch of stuff is like,
well, Sagittarius is really, I love Sagittarius because it's really a vehicle of ascension. It has to do with your philosophy. It has to do with your, higher education, right? It has to do with that. Sagittarius was in the South Node, right?
Okay.
But when we look at what I was saying the other day, last week, I think it was, the North Node is in Gemini, right? And that's going to switch pretty soon, but right now it still is there. So what does that mean? We have to do critical thinking. We have to research. We have to speak out. We have to listen at the same time, right? We have to sort of like, once we have all that information, we also have to share it. We have to teach other people. Geminis are teachers, right? But if we stay stuck in the South Node could be the conditioning from the past life that we're still running our lives by, right? And so we need to really come into the present moment. We need to be aware of what's happening. We need to like I said, it's written on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Every structure right now is unstable. That Mars energy is really taking that action that we need to take, not sitting back on the couch and saying somebody else is going to save me. We have to save ourselves. Each individual person has to get up and be a part of the collective changes that are happening. We have to be a part of the healing of humanity. If we're not, we're going to wither away. And God knows where our soul is going to go. I mean, there is a gray area where souls go. So maybe your soul will go there eventually. I don't know. I know for a fact that I signed up, especially with a Pluto conjunct my sun. I signed up for the rebirth of this planet. I did, because that showed me, that alignment showed me that I signed up for this time, and I am going to be a part of the people that are going to help in the healing of the planet, animals, everything. It's not just with the people, it's also with the planet itself. You know, how everything has been poisoned with pesticides and chemicals, and it's a miracle we're all still alive if you think about it.
Right.
And so we're part of this. We're part of this, sort of like rebirth. It is a rebirth, and we're gonna leave it so much better for our children and their children and their children, right? If not, the planet is going to cease to exist if it keeps happening. I just want to
hold on a second. Let me interrupt you. Krista wanted to say something, and we got to move into our next segment too.
Okay.
I'm
Krista?
Okay. I can wait.
Oh, sure.
It's all good. She's on a roll.
I know, right?
I'm just jiving with you.
Over to her. We don't want to become part of our totalitarian society, and that's really the crossroad. That way or this way, we're going to be ruled by other people, or we're going to take control of ourselves and our mind. When you don't control your mind, someone else will, and you will be indoctrinated, and you will be sort of controlled. And so that's the crossroad, and we can't sit on the couch. That Mars energy is telling us, get up, wake up, and do what you got to do.
Cool.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Salute.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'll tell you what. That's very. Yes, please. I'm ready.
Okay, ready? Okay, good.
Ready, steady, Freddie.
There you go.
And of course, my husband's calling me right now. It's all good. So, welcome. This week's crystal of the week is Oralite 23. Now, Oralite 23 is it's kind of one of those strange new crystals. It was discovered in 2006, but became commercial in 2011. Now, what makes it really unusual is that really and truly, it is like about 1.5 billion years old.
Wow.
To give you an idea, we're talking dinosaur. We're talking we're talking many moons ago is when it started to formulate. So Oralite is a cross between amethyst and citrine. So if you have an amethyst and a citrine, that's usually called an ametrine. What makes it very different than an ametrine is there are 23 other minerals that are infused into the loveliness of Oralite. Yes, ma'am.
I have pictures.
Excellent, because I do not have one of these. I actually was looking for Oralite this week. And I have
it's not easy to find.
No, it really is not, especially if you're looking for genuine Oralite. The genuine Oralite is only mined in one place in Canada, and I'll give you the exact location. Give me a second. Spectacles.
Road trip.
It is a Canadian thing. So it is. Oh wait, I was looking up. I was reading other things. Where is it? Oh, Thunder Bay, Canada.
Ooh, okay.
So that is where you can get Oralite 23
trip for me.
Oh,
how long of a drive is that for you?
Oh,
I think it's like 5 hours.
That's not bad.
Wow. Okay. All righty. Well, that's really cool. So what I want to do, I'm not going to tell you the name of all 23 minerals, but I actually have a list of it. And it's really remarkable. But what I really want to emphasize is the energy that Oralite brings. So Oralite works with all our chakras. So all our energies, energy centers are major ones. And actually it works with all the planets. So typically a crystal, there are very few crystals that align all our chakras and work with all the planets. Usually the crystals work with one or two, maybe three, and of your energy centers. And, and that's a really great thing. If you have Oralite 23 in your life, or if you find one that speaks to you, it is a remarkable stone to work with and sit with. I have had the opportunity to play with Oralite, and I now kick myself for not buying it when I was surrounded by it. But part of the problem is that they were all talking to me. And I could only, I just couldn't buy them all. Right. None of them were being quiet. They just were all like, singing away and having a good old party. So one of the things that I recommend, Oralite is really great for opening your mind, for allowing us, and this aligns with what Damaris is talking about. It allows us to see things from different perspectives. Doesn't mean you have to agree with the person. It doesn't mean that you have to jump on their bandwagon. What it will allow you to do is to be able to step back, broaden your perspective, right? Shift if that means you need to go left or you need to go right, in order to get a more of a 360-degree view of a situation, topic, conversation, whatever the case may be. Now, if you don't have Oralite in your life, but you really want to get that energy, do you know that you can actually look at a photo of a crystal, set the intention that you want to connect to that energy of the crystal as you're meditating, and you will.
Nice.
Yes, my friends, I actually do that with crystals that I do not have.
And I believe you.
So I'll make sure to get that little video link up in the group.
Yeah.
So
and yeah,
people can
just
do that.
separate that so that people can do that. But yeah, or scour the internet. Maybe you'll find a piece that you really can connect with. And I don't know, Shiho, my friend Shiho sometimes watches. And Shiho, if you're watching, she has the most amazing Oralite 23.
Really?
And girlfriend, take a photo and drop it into the group, because hers is such a stunning piece. And the energy just like, it's amazing. But as we're transforming, as the energy is shifting, as we're growing as individuals and as a collective, because remember, all of this rebirth and all of this growth and all of the choices that we're going to make has to start here.
Yeah.
Right? It has to start right here. You can't be thinking, or I can't be thinking, I'm just going to let Gayle and Damaris do it, and I'm just going to hop on those coattails and ride and wave with them, because it's not going to work that way, guys.
No.
You have to make the choices, because it is about free will. It is about what it is you want to do. Oralite will help you, though, make decisions that are best for you. because it will align you so that when you are asking yourself the question, what is best for me? You know, what will serve me well for this situation? Or, you know, what is the lesson I'm here to learn? Whatever the case may be. Or my favorite, how much better can this get?
Right.
That one's my favorite.
I was playing with that one this morning.
I like that.
I'll tell you.
What else is possible?
Yes.
What else is possible, and how much better can that get?
Yeah, I like that.
That it will help with that, because that's a really powerful place to be in, is to be in a place of question. And I know that Damaris loves to ask why questions. I personally avoid why questions, mainly because why comes from an ego needing to have an answer. And we are trained to go back to how we've been trained. Think about it. Why did you do that? You know, why didn't you clean this up? Or why didn't you turn in your homework, right? Think of those kind of questions that we heard all growing up. So it immediately puts you on defense. So I don't ask.
It's
I don't ask.
Very
why
interesting, because I have a totally different
Me too.
reason for not like indulging in why questions. Because for me, there is no definitive answer to why. There
Me
will
neither.
always be another question that could follow up.
That's
And
it.
there's no answer to why.
Open-ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just don't, I mean, but there's a lot of things, and I understand. I totally get, and that's another reason why I don't play with the why. However, I do find that it's harder for people to understand that concept than it is about being programmed as a child.
Oh, yeah.
To answer,
Yeah.
you know, it's like you're asked why, and you have to give an answer. Whereas frequently we just need to wait for the answer to appear. Yeah. Yes, granted, you know, if
there has to be an initiation for the answer, though. So
yes, and that's why you ask a what or a how or you know,
you pretty much have the same answer whether you ask why or what happened, right?
Or what
happened is a definitive answer. This happened.
Yes.
Right?
Why?
And then there's
why has a variety of this.
Exactly. And why is completely subjective and dependent on your point of view.
On perception. On the person's perception. So for me, the why taps into their perception.
Yeah.
Where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Which is not right or wrong.
No, it's not. No, it's not at all. So in any case, so the Oralite 23, and by the way, Oralite's correct. Oralite 23 is correct. There are quite a few names that it goes by, and I'll list those so you guys actually, if you're in search of it, you can actually look these up. It will help you gain your own inner perspective. And that's where we need to come. That's where we need to be in order to grow, in order to up level your life, if you will, you know, jump the scale here. In order to empower yourself, you need to be able to be in a place of receiving the information and not having a knee-jerk reaction, if you will. Mm-hmm. And Oralite can help that. You know, filter it out so that you're not having that knee-jerk reaction. But it's a really great stone to work with. I've had, when it first came out, it had a lot of hype that went around it, especially because a gentleman was trying to copyright it. And it's like, how the hell can you copyright a stone?
Right.
So it never made sense to me, but it is very powerful. It is a really, really powerful thing.
And it's beautiful to look at.
It is a really beautiful stone. Something I'm just going to add, if you still have your aquamarine nearby, work with that as well. It's been very interesting. The aquamarine keeps coming up for me.
Yeah, well,
And
it's a time that requires a lot of courage, especially if we're standing for what we want to create in the world, not just more of the same or a perpetuation of fear and lies.
Yeah,
it takes courage to get past that.
Yes, that's that Mars energy.
Yeah, and so we just need to keep moving forward in a flowful, and I use that word a lot, and I know some people, they're like, what does that mean? And the best way I can explain it is just think about how either a river moves, which is always in a forward motion, or how a ocean current, it comes in and then it pulls out, and it comes in and it pulls out, but it has a consistency. And if you ride that, and if you flow with that kind of energy, you're going to find that it's just, it's really, it makes those challenges just a little bit easier. And
I think the key for flow is it's always moving. It doesn't matter what direction it is, it's moving in. It's always moving.
Yeah.
So when we stop that, even if it's very, very slow, but when we stop that moving, that's when the water gets stagnant and the bacteria grows and the larvae hatch.
It stinks.
Yeah, and it smells.
It
and you can tell in your own life when you've gone stagnant because you're not flowing. And you say you say to your coaches, "Oh, I'm stuck." Well, get in motion. Take some actions. Take some inspired actions. Meditate. Ask your guides, "What do I need to do next?" And then go do it.
That's right.
But staying in flow. Awesome stuff.
Okay,
all right, well, you guys
friends,
are gonna love this card today. Oh my gosh.
Let's see.
So today's card is the Queen of Wands, again with the fire. Wands and fire, right? So what the card has to say today, it really does feed in with everything else. You know exactly what you need today. All right. Trust your intuition. Chances are it's quite loud. Be confident and proud about what's best for you and in pursuit of your dreams. No apologies. In fact, your confidence and independence are likely to attract admiration from others.
I like
right? So, let me kick off this part of the segment because this just flows in so very well. And today we're talking about taking action from a space of certainty.
Wow.
There we go.
All right. So, yeah, exactly. So, going back to what Damaris was talking about earlier and the Pluto return and, this crossing into what the things that happened. I wish I could remember off the top of my head, but it had to do with Mars and Sagittarius and Venus and Scorpio and Saturn and Jupiter. But moving into this new space, right? Mm-hmm. And with the Pluto return coming around, knowing that all of these things that had been hidden from us, right, are being revealed. Now, there's two ways to go there, right? Oh, it's horrible. They've been hiding these things from us. Oh, I'm so wounded. I am so offended. I am so, how dare they, right? Or knew something was up. What are we going to create now?
Love that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like that.
And that's where we got to go with it, right? And then moving into what Chris was talking about with the Oralite. I mean, that is like the stone to have all powers that be work together for whatever it is that you want to stand for being created out of those ashes, right? Yeah. Not looking at what was there before and how bad it was and the judgment attached to it and how it didn't work and how awful people have been to each other and all of that goes aside. Yeah. We go within, we connect to our energy centers, we connect to the planets, all of them, not just a few of them, because all of them have, input on your life.
They're interplaying.
Exactly. They have input towards each other. And with this Pluto return coming around being one of the very most outer planets that takes the longest orbit to come around, it pretty much it encompasses almost 2.5 centuries of our time here on Earth. right?
Yeah.
So it takes in, at least for America, its entire history,
Entire.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, this is the time to really be working on that and come from a space of, like sureness, certainty. All right. Now,
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you a little story about how this worked for me in the past. I hope that you'll find it funny as I do. So
Okay.
I was working on it's not really an autobiography, but it's a story about my young life. And of course, it has a lot to do with Barry Manilow and his music and how that interacted and was the voice of God for me for a lot of years when I was looking for answers and I could find them in the songs. So I had written the first part of it, and I felt like I really needed him to give me the okay to go ahead and do this, to publish this, right? But getting it in front of him was the question. How am I going to do this, right? And I was working with a coaching system at the time that was just like, you step into, if I was this already, what would the actions be that I would take in order to have that happen, right? So I was in Vegas. I was staying at a timeshare, a little village, about a mile or two from the Strip, and Manilow was at the Hilton. It was at the time, and so I sat and I thought about it. I'm like, well, if I was an author who, this was already in process, right? And he just needed to sign off on something, what would I do? Well, I would call a courier and I would have it delivered to his room, and I would expect him to receive it, right? So that's what I did. I took it over to the office at the little village that I was at. I said, I need a courier to deliver this to the penthouse over at the Hilton, and blah, blah, blah. Right. So I let it go. I packaged it up and I sent it over. And after I had gotten back to Michigan the following week, I called up his offices.
Mhm.
And the woman on the phone said, Gayle, did you write that thing that got delivered to Barry's room? And I'm like, yeah, they were talking about you all day.
Wow.
All right. So all of that really is just to tell you all, even if you don't have a piece of Oralite, grab one of the pictures of Oralite that I'm going to put up in the group. All right.
Mhm.
Sit with that and think about all of the things that you would like to see pass away, right? And then take a look at all of the things that you would like to restore, recreate, rebuild out of the ashes, okay? Now, from there, go one step further and say, okay, if this was already this way, what would I be doing? What would I be saying? What actions would I take, right? And meditate on those things with your picture or your piece of the Oralite, all right? And then go do those things, right? Because you've got a clearer view of exactly what it is that you want to create, to restore, to build. And then you're bringing in all of your energy centers into alignment with that, all of the planets and beings out there, because, moons, asteroids, Pallas, all of these things that are lining up in the sky this week, literally lining up in the sky this week.
They are.
Okay.
Yep.
And aligning yourself, and then having, you'll surprise yourself with the actions that you will all of a sudden have the courage to take like it was never an issue, right? And watch what happens. By the end of the year, it'll be a whole new world for you. And for most people.
And just keep in mind, we don't have many more days until the end of the year. However, in those last few days that we do have, you still have awesome amounts of abilities, chances, opportunities to change things, to do things, to step out of that zone of, well, this is really comfortable and comfy. Let's grow.
There's no more time for that. It's just taking action, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just taking that step.
Yeah.
And honestly, okay, so I will be the first to say, sometimes I get really scared to do things. And you all are probably like, huh, what? You move around the world, you do all kinds of crazy shit. But seriously, I do. There are times I can be like, I can just like, no. But you know,
and then she does it anyway.
I do it anyway.
Yeah,
I do.
Whereas I'm over here sucking my thumb in the fetal position, going, no.
Oh no, that is not true.
Oh well, yeah.
Well, you gotta look at it
up.
this way. It's like when we're at a crossroad, it's do or die, right?
Yeah.
Really? Well, yeah. Or I prefer to think of it, rather than do or die, do or do not. There is no
try.
There is no try. So you either do it or you choose not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Either way,
and they both come with their own set of consequences.
That's it.
You know,
die doesn't have to be physical death, but if you're not really thriving, you're dying. You know,
and that is so true.
Yeah,
that is so true.
Absolutely.
You know, remember, we don't lay on our deathbed saying, you know, I regret giving that a go. What we have a tendency to say is, I regret not giving it a try.
Yeah.
So
get busy dying or get busy living, I say.
Right. Yep. Right.
Life is meant to be lived. It is, you know, it's not an observation sport, y'all.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. And there is so much living to do, and there's so much to see.
I know.
Can I,
Krista?
Real quickly, I want to share this little story from this past week, because two things have happened to me in this past week that's kind of scaring me with my power. Okay. Ooh. Because it's not really direct. Okay. So the first one happened at dinner the other night. The woman that I ran the fundraiser for took me and my assistant out to dinner. And she was, you know, gratitude and all that. And it was wonderful. And I was still kind of like stiff and pissy, because a couple of things had happened during the evening that she really needed to understand that they can never happen again. Okay. And I was kind of holding her feet to the fire and holding her accountable. And she didn't like that. I don't like it when it happens to me either, truth be told. But she told me that I was a bitch and that I needed to stop judging people. And I went, you know what? You're right. I do need to stop judging people. And I own that. I am a bitch. No problem with that. Mine over here. I'll fold those socks. But I'm like, okay, I do need to stop judging people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up from the table. I'm going to go outside and have a breather. And I'm going to come back in and we'll talk about entirely different things, right? So I go outside and I'm chatting with somebody out by the door. And then I, come in a few minutes later, and my assistant and my friend were sopping up the table and the seats. Somehow, while I was gone, my assistant's red wine spilled all over this woman's dress.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
And so that was one situation that I just kind of looked up and went, thanks. And so there's a second thing that happened though. The other day, I'm hiking with the dog, and I had lighter for a reason. And I dropped the lighter in the river. Okay. Only lighter that I have. And I looked down a few minutes later. I'm expecting this lighter to sink right to the bottom. No, it's bobbing along the surface of the water, butt end up. And I reach down and I pick it up and I'm trying to flick it. And of course it's not lighting. And the person that I'm with is trying to flick it. And of course it's not lighting. But I'm doing my little thing and I've got to, do my little process here. Okay. And So I'm getting it all finished up and getting it ready. And this person that I'm with is like, I don't know why you keep doing that. We should like go back to the car and see if there's a lighter. No, it's gonna be fine. And maybe about 30 seconds to a minute passes. And I said, can you hand me that lighter now? And my friend says, do you really think that anything has changed between 30 seconds ago and now? And pulls the lighter out of their pocket and flicks it once. And there's a huge ball of sparks that come out of it. And the flame is like a torch, right?
Wow.
And it scares them. And so finger off and then flicks it again. And it was normal. And I'm like, thank you very much. Did my little process and we were all good. So that was 2. Now, both of those reflected back to the time when I was in high school and the boyfriend that I had over Christmas break when I went back to my family over Christmas cheated on me. By spring, he had jumped off a bridge into the river, not knowing there was a boulder underneath, and shattered his leg and was in a cast up to his hip.
Oh my
So
God.
I have this pattern where I don't have to lift a finger and the universe handles stuff. And as I start, like walking this path and doing these things and noticing when things are opening up and I'm stepping into all of me and all of that, where these little things are both messengers of, you have this power. Yep. And also, like, I can see where I had in the past gone, oh, no, don't want that much power. Don't want that. Right. So I just had to share that with all of you guys because it's if I don't, it just lives up here and eventually becomes crazy Gayle.
Right? Huh? Controlling your power, not
directing it, I think.
Yeah,
it's about
you need
it
it.
Is.
So you need your power.
Because I'm not asking for these things to happen, but I'm enjoying the hell out of them when they do. Okay. Anyway.
It's that Scorpio inside. It's that Scorpio side there, girl. Totally.
Totally.
All right, so I have made us late. I'm so sorry. Let me get to the winner today, and congratulations to Elizabeth Flores. Thank you so much for being part of 3 Crones in the Woo. You, all you have to do is reach out to us. Let us know which one of us you would like to present your prize. With Krista, it will be a crystal reading.
Yeah.
Big deal going on for the whole 2022. For me, it will be a tarot reading or an EFT session, whichever works. If you've got holidays to deal with people that you don't necessarily like, but because they have the same DNA as you have to come see me. We'll fix that. No, we're not going to take care of or anything. We'll just fix, that they don't get to interact with you the same way anymore. And if you would like, Damaris is doing tarot or an astrology reading. So Elizabeth, whatever it is that you want, just let us know which one you want to go with.
She just won a raffle from me. So she won a free reading from me. So I'm guessing she's going to pick one one of you because
maybe
just won a raffle.
Maybe, or maybe she'll regift the one she won before. Who knows?
We'll see. That's all good.
So just because you already just won something from Damaris, Elizabeth, does not mean you cannot pick her. If you want to pick her, you can. But you could also pick Krista or I. Yeah. And we would love to.
And just as an FYI, the people that have now had readings from all 3 of us. So, and I keep trying to get them to write testimonials.
Yeah.
But they say it's really interesting because they'll have a reading from us. And we say, I don't want to say it's the same message, different techniques, but our messaging verifies each other. Yeah. And of course, none of us communicate about because that's an ethical thing.
No,
we don't talk about everybody's readings or anything. So it can be very exciting reaching out to any of us. And just as another addition, just little thing
that
for
cross
all of
confirmation.
Us. Yeah, it is cross confirmation. Is that if you win a prize and then you want to work with us, we all do separate sessions too.
Yeah.
Yes. We do additional stuff.
Yep. Thanks for reminding everybody of that. We don't say that often enough, that we all have all of these services that we would love to provide to you.
Yeah.
Reach out, let us know,
how we can help
schedule. Yeah.
That's right.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All righty. Let's see here. So, Elizabeth, thank you so much for being part of Three Crones in the Woo, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Also, thank you to our sponsors and contributors. We have Dimensional Healing with Krista Ducharme. Yay. You can find her on Facebook. And we have Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. And then, of course, yours truly, Gayle Nicholson with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. From all of us at Three Crones in the Woo, thank you so much for tuning in. And I can't wait to see how many of you like, comment, and share this post this week to be included in our drawing for next week. Have a fantastic week ahead. And happy Yule and happy solstice. And we'll see you next week for a special solstice show. Take care. Bye now.
Bye.